The Port of Prince Rupert is partnering with Innovate BC and the province of British Columbia on the Heavy-Duty Zero-Emission Vehicle Project, putting electric and hydrogen fuel cell technology to the test in a real working port, and finding out if zero-emission freight can meet the demands of Canadian trade. Welcome to the Go Electric Fleet Show. This is where we sit down and chat about EV fleets, infrastructure, and more. Join us as we explore EV fleets here in BC.
Hi, I'm Tim Peterson. I'm project lead at Innovate BC on the Heavy-Duty Zero-Emission Vehicle Project. The Heavy-Duty Zero-Emission Vehicle Project was created as one of three with Transport Canada funding and is to gather real-world operating data on zero-emission trucks. In the case of the Port of Prince Rupert, we have 2 battery electric trucks, a fuel cell truck, as well as a hydrogen diesel co-combustion truck to de-risk the technology and help other fleet operators with the data that they need to make a good decision as they electrify their fleets. The Port of Prince Rupert is the 3rd busiest port in Canada, and it's growing every day. The drivers are excited and proud to operate these vehicles. The project stakeholders include Gatleedom Logistics, which is the trucking company, Hydra Energy, which has provided the diesel hydrogen co-combustion truck, acting as primary contractor for the hydrogen fueling station. Newport Robotics is responsible for collecting data on the trucks so that other fleets across the country can use these insights and the data to make a confident decision about electrifying their fleets. We've had a number of trainings that were all part of the project plan, and that includes safety around battery electric vehicles and the fuel cell vehicle. There was a gap identified and unfamiliarity with hydrogen as a fuel. Innovate BC heard those concerns from first responders, and we offered incremental additional training on battery electric vehicle and fuel cell electric vehicle safety. Generally, the feedback from the drivers has been really positive. Trucks are quieter, less vibration. We're seeing good usage of the Class 7 pickup and delivery truck, as well as the Class 8 electric truck doing drayage. We're able to get very granular data on each charging event and fuel consumption or energy used by the battery electric trucks. On the fuel cell electric vehicle, we could see how much hydrogen is consumed and compare that across seasons. Electric charging infrastructure as well as hydrogen fueling infrastructure was part of the project scope. We installed a Detroit eFill 120 kilowatt dual port charger at Gatleedom, and the hydrogen fueling infrastructure will be going in shortly. Yeah, as one of 3 projects across the country, this one's unique in that it's the only project that's operating at an active port.
My name is Evan Smithanik. I'm the manager of supply chain optimization at the Prince Rupert Port Authority. And in my role, I'm here to try to ensure that cargo moves as efficiently and as sustainably as possible through the complex. So the Port of Prince Rupert is an ocean port, and as a port, we're a collection of cargo handling facilities that support the movement of cargo on and off of vessels. In doing this work, we enable BC trade and Canadian trade for importers and exporters. The Port of Prince Rupert handled 26.3 million tons of cargo in 2025, which equates to $60 billion worth of trade. One of the challenges of a port operation is that all of the logistics activities are done by equipment or vehicles that have internal combustion engines, which are resulting in emissions. And so the real challenge is how can we as a port increase the volume and support Canadian trade in a bigger way while also not increasing the carbon intensity or perhaps reducing it. The port's emission reduction goals are to reduce carbon intensity by 30% by the year 2030, and then beyond that, net zero emissions by the year 2050. And so this project will help us to be ready to adopt the technology on the trucking side when that technology is less expensive and able to perform at an operational level that allows us to achieve our volume goals. The Port Authority was very excited to participate in this program because it would give us the opportunity to understand the maintenance required on the trucks, about the driver experiences, about the full cost of ownership, as well Most importantly, it helps us understand how this new technology will perform operationally within the port complex, so that when that technology is more fully adopted, we're ready to go. The challenge with the fuel cell electric vehicle is that it's a lot heavier than the traditional internal combustion engine trucks. And so a lot of that gross combination weight that you're allowed to have on the road is used up by the truck itself. So that means less cargo hauling capacity. 16 to 18 tons has been the ballpark that we've been using for the cargo capacity, whereas the heaviest containers that we pull regularly in the Port of Prince Rupert are between 25 and 28 tons. So it really limits what that truck can do at the moment, but that's why we're participating in the pilot, to give this feedback to the manufacturers so they can work on ways to improve that technology. The goal that we have in using the electric truck is to make sure that that truck can make it through a complete shift without having to recharge partway through. So in order to achieve that, we, working with GAT Leadham, have assigned that truck to a specific route where we know that that's possible. And this route has grades that are not very steep and handles cargo where the weights are compatible with finishing that particular work on a single charge. So the trucks in operation at the Port of Prince Rupert right now, specifically the electric Class 8 tractor, the drivers have noticed a significant reduction in noise. The sound of the engine with the internal combustion engine is significantly louder, as well as there is a reduction in exhaust fumes. Reliability and uptime have actually been very good. There have been some observations by the drivers that the charge is reduced more quickly in the cooler weather, with the heater being on. Also, there are some idiosyncrasies with the truck where the heater will turn off once the charge is below a certain level, which can make driving in the winter difficult. We would encourage other ports, whether it's seaports or airports for that matter, to participate in pilots of this nature. Every port has its own uniqueness and difference that will contribute towards the improvement of this technology for those who choose to adopt it over time. So I would definitely encourage every organization that can to participate in a similar pilot. The Class 8 electric tractor is a Freightliner e-Cascadia. Some of our initial calculations show that the cost of operating the electric truck, at least from a fuel perspective, is 75% less than the internal combustion engine truck. Electric trucks, electric tractors are costly and they have limited uses. But the only way that we're going to overcome that and prove that is by participating in pilot projects like this. It's critical for the improvement of the technology so that we can adopt it in a more widespread way into the future.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates on fleet electrification and other sustainable transportation solutions. Thanks for watching the Go Electric Fleet Show.